1 SamikshaRav. The plane is ready to board. You are listening at famvetv.info. Though it was dark and only a few people dared to walk outside freely in this gloomy night, it was assumed that most of them were robbers, murderers, kidnappers and other dark agents who were in search of their prey. One could see the black and white police cars making rounds in their vicinities, trying to safeguard the public from these lurking worms. In short, the outside world was a mess. In this messy world, under the gloomy sky, a young girl frowned deeply with her eyes closed. On the highest building, inside an apartment, a young girl who looked like a celestial beauty was lying on the white soft bed. If not because of the deep frown on her forehead, she could be mistaken for a sleeping doll. Cold sweat trickled down her forehead until her sweaty neck. Seemingly having a nightmare, the young girl's eyebrows was creased into a line and her neck looked stiff. The soft and fair fingers which looked fragile were looking pale as she held on to the comforter tightly. As time passed, the more uncomfortable she felt until she could no longer take it. With a yell she woke up from her head, panting heavily. It took her a few minutes to finally regain her sense. Picking the water bottle from the bedside table, she gulped a few mouthfuls of water to calm her racing heart. Finally, when her heart settled, did the girl realize that she was having a nightmare. Running her fingers through her hair, she looked at the bedside table to look at the time. Seeing that it was still 2 in the morning, the young girl decided to sleep for a while. This time, she no longer dreamed anything bad and had a peaceful night. The next day early morning, forcing herself to wake up, the young girl walked towards the balcony from where she could almost see the whole city. Stretching her arms lazily, she looked down at the busy street and said, "Good morning, busy people." Breathing in the morning air, she sighed and made her way inside to wash up. When the time was almost 9:30, she walked out of her room dragging her suitcase behind. Before walking out of the room, the young lady turned around to look at the home one last time. Running her eyes one round throughout the house, she smiled and said, "My little home, thank you for providing me the warmth for 12 long years. Now, it's time for us to bid our farewell. Goodbye, my little house." With that said, she turned back and walked out of the house, no longer looking back at the nest in which she had lived for so long. When at 10:30, she arrived at the airport after traveling for a whole hour. Paying her fare to the taxi, she walked inside holding her passport in her hands. After checking in, she still had a few more minutes left before getting on the plane. Just then an attendee walked inside and called the young woman, "Ms. SamikshaRav, the plane is ready to board." Listen to the full novel at famvetv.info, direct link in the description.